you know.
Oh, she's magic. We're live.
She's magic. Hey, we're gonna have some people joining us here. Okay, so I'm gonna buzz through these really quickly, but the bonus is that if you're here, you get a little bit of special attention. Starting with the low back. Everyone watching has their low back forms. You can follow with us. If you don't, then you know where you're gonna get them next time you come in here. The reason we have to start with the hamstrings for the low back is because the hamstrings connect to the pelvis or your sit bone right there in your tushy. So people who have low back pain almost always have problems with their hamstring muscles torquing and shifting the pelvis. So you can just think, if this muscle right here gets tight and contracts, right? When it gets tight and contracts like that, it actually pulls down. So if it shortens here, it's going to be tugging and pulling down on the pelvis. That's going to twist the spine in the lower back. So we love to stretch the hamstring when we have low back problems. Got it? So the way that we're going to do this is we're going to use a chair. So Alyssa's going to be our wonderful model here. Go ahead and pick a leg. Put a leg up on your chair.
Leg up?
Your opposite foot that is not on the chair should be directly underneath your hip. So if your hip bone is not directly underneath that foot, you need to change the angle. Okay? Neck should be straight. Shouldn't be reaching out in front of you like this. Everyone look at me. Neck should be, ears should be over the shoulder to start with. There we go. Good. Nice. See? Posture's everything. And what we're going to do is Alyssa's going to bend her belly button toward her big toe. Point your big toe up towards the ceiling. Now push the big toe back toward your belly button.
That's hard enough. Okay, Ryan's not.
You got it. Lean forward with your belly button. Keep your ears over your shoulder. If you feel like you're off balance, you can put your hands somewhere. And you should be feeling a really strong pull down on the underside of your hamstring or behind your knee. Feel that? Okay. Now, I like what you're doing. You can put your hands on your hips because you don't want your hips to turn or rotate. If your hips turn, show us what it looks like if your hips turn and rotate. Like that, you're torquing and twisting your pelvis. So
that hurts more.
Yeah, don't do that. You don't want to do that. Okay? The more you point your toe up towards your nose, the more it's going to pull all the way down underneath here. I like doing this in a chair because you can keep your pelvis straight. You can keep your opposite foot underneath your hip. And you always bend with your belly button, not with your chin. Okay? If you bend with your chin, show us what it looks like you're bending the chin. You're straining the whole upper back. Okay? So typical. Don't bend and reach. Just keep your hands along your side and bend forward with your belly button, and you're going to get that big stretch. You got that? So you learned something. It's all about, the name of the game is posture. Okay? So all that reaching stuff, you don't need to reach. You just need to bend a little tiny bit, and you'll feel it. Cool? Hamstrings. The most important stretch probably for low back pain is getting those hamstrings moving. Number 2 is the extension stretch. Pretty sure that's a yoga move, right? Any yogis? Extension stretch. So let's get the chair out of the way. Alyssa, you're going to lie down on your stomach. Everyone can follow. First thing I want you to do is put your elbows down on the ground. All right, so go ahead and put your elbows on the ground, Alyssa, and kind of get in the lean up position. Now, before you do anything, before you push up like this, some people who have really bad low back pain, that's all you're going to do. You're not going to do much extension at all. You're just going to start on your elbows. Important thing to keep in mind here is eventually we're going to have some right angles throughout this whole process. So Alyssa, push up a little bit. As she starts to push up, if you have pain, stop and go down a little bit where you don't have pain. This is putting extension into the lower back. And everyone over here watching, everyone watching on live, we're making right angles in the body. So there's a right angle there with our elbow. We come up here, and now we see this angle coming down. Okay? We want the shoulder to stay over the elbow. If the shoulder comes in front, it's going to put pressure on the shoulder joint like that. That's good. Keep the shoulder under the elbows. And right here we have this scooping motion in the low back. Hold there for about 30 seconds, and then you can go down and relax and rest. So you can push a little bit further if you want. Remember, keep those right angles. Doing good. Perfect. Anyone over here have any problems with that?
Nope.
This is extension, and extension is important because remember, in the spine, in the lumbar spine, there's the curve down there. That curve's important, and most of the time in the day when we're seated, we're actually losing the curve. I'll show everyone who's watching on live, and I'll show you guys right here. When we are in a chair all day, we start to slouch, and the low back rolls. And when the low back rolls like that, we've almost reversed the curve in our lumbar spine. And you guys know that those curves are shock absorbers. So when we're sitting like this, or even when we start leaning forward like this, we're losing the curve in our low back. So we don't have protection against gravity. So this exercise, I do it in the morning. I hit snooze on the alarm clock, and I just roll over, and I start doing this. It feels great. It's a great way to start your day. Got it? Cool. Next, probably one of my other favorites, cat-cow. Cat-cow exercise. So, hands and knees, everyone. Remember, we're going to use right angles here. So, just in the neutral position, bring your knees up just a little bit, Alyssa. Perfect. To start, we want right angle in the knee. Everyone over here, make sure you have a right angle in the knee. Then we come up here, hit the hip and into the pelvis, another right angle. So we're getting ourselves in the proper position. Your wrists are going to be at a right angle, and your shoulder into your rib cage is going to be a right angle. Alyssa's head and neck is in a neutral position. Okay? So I could draw a line from her ear, through her shoulder, down through her rib cage and her spine, to her pelvis, and then a right angle here and a right angle there. This is a safe position that most people don't know how to get in. So get yourself in that position. You guys all look great. First thing we're going to do is Alyssa's going to let her stomach bend forward, and we're going to put this big arch in her spine and in your spine, dropping your belly button down to the ground. Okay? That feels really, really nice. I know this because this is the second thing I do on my second snooze. Because I'm a 2 snoozer. Right? Now, from here, Alyssa's going to pretend that her belly button is getting pushed up to the ceiling, and she's going to arch it up as high as she can, like a scared cat on a fence. And she's going to bend her head, it's going to stretch her spine, and put this arc in it. Remember, push your belly button up, arc it up as high as you can, and then she's going to go back down into the camel or cow position. I should say cow position. Good. Let your stomach go down. Good. When you let your stomach go down, don't let your shoulders sink. So maintain that right angle. Good. Push up really high. There you go. When you do this in the morning, you'll feel some stuff shift around in your spine oftentimes. Good. Drop down. Show me what the cow looks like. Perfect. If you feel some stuff shift around and move, it's fine. Your body's going through what we call transient fixations. When you're lying in bed all night, your body's kind of coming out of alignment. Sometimes it'll go click, 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 and pop back into place. Okay, that's all right. Good over here, live crew. While we're in that position, we're going to go right into the bird dog. For everyone who's following along, the bird dog. You're going to stay right in that same position. Flip your page. This is the core workout. Okay? I tell people I don't like crunches and I don't like sit-ups. The reason is there's been some studies where they measure the amount of pressure inside of the disc spaces of your lower back. And every time you do a crunch or a sit-up, it compresses those discs. We don't want to do that. So I don't like when people tell me they do 50 or 100 sit-ups a day. It's only a matter of time. If you have subluxations, you're going to wear those discs out. So if you want to get a really strong core and a six-pack, you do these, right? And you change your diet. Same position, right angles, nice balanced straight spine. What we're first going to do is, Alyssa, I want you to raise your right hand up. Now do the right hand first. Just the right hand. I want you to see where we're going with this. Good. The fingertips should be perfectly in a line down her arm, down her spine, all the way to the back. Okay? Now, you ready, Alyssa?
Yeah,
See how strong your abs are. Now she's going to raise the opposite leg, and she's going to hold. Keep your core nice and tight. Good. I should go draw a line from her fingertip down through here and all the way out to her toe. Good. Alyssa, now switch.
Oh, good.
Oh, good. The most important thing is that the pelvis doesn't turn and torque. Hold for just about 3 seconds, then slowly come back to the neutral position. Take a breath and switch. When you're doing this, your core needs to be tight, so push out. Good. I'm going to come around. You actually push out with your core, don't suck in. And make sure your pelvis isn't rotating. Push out. Good. Cindy, so. I know. Sometimes the pelvis rolls to make you straight. To make that core nice and tight like you're pushing out. You're doing awesome over there, Tom. Good. So the hardest part is making sure that your pelvis isn't twisting. Because the pelvis wants to twist opposite to the leg that's coming up. And when you have a strong core, it won't do that. If your core is weak, it'll twist. So you're almost perfect right there. You guys are doing great. Your core will be burning tomorrow if you do 10 or 15 of these tonight.
Somebody wants to know why not suck it in.
You don't want to suck it in because when you suck in, it hollows the core. We want to push out and make it firm. If we suck in, we're actually deactivating some of those core muscles, and that'll actually kick in engagement of the lower spine, and we don't want that. If you're doing this exercise and your low back hurts, it's probably because you're not doing it right. And if you push out, so I'm looking here, I don't want to suck in, I want to actually engage there and round my stomach and make it hard like a rock. Okay? Wherever that was, it has. You're good, you can stop.
Okay.
You're not going to want to go to the gym after this.
I know.
Turn over on your back. We're going to do the dead bug.
The dead bug.
Another exercise that is one of the big 4 exercises for a strong core. Dead bug. This one's fun. Kids like doing this one. If you hit snooze 3 times, you could then go do this one. Or you could do this one and,
I'm a 5
extension.
snoozer. What else you
Oh,
got?
shoot. You're going to be done with your exercise before you even wake up in the morning. All right, remember right angle. So the neck is in a nice neutral position. Spine is straight. We have a right angle here. We have a right angle there. Arms are going to come up. Now we form the other right angle. Bend the knees at 90 degrees. Bend the hips at 90 degrees. Arms straight up. Perfect, everyone. Tom, let your head relax. Your head's going to get sore. Lift your head up. Your head's going to get sore and you're going to hurt your neck if you do that, and you're going to need adjusted right away. Relax. So the neck stays relaxed. You can put a pillow under your head if you'd like to support your neck. Now what we're going to do is, Melissa's going to straighten out. Excuse me. Straighten here. Straighten the opposite arm. Good. Now switch. Beautiful. Straight line from here all the way up to the opposite. This is also good for brain balancing because you're asking your brain to do a cross pattern to different parts of your body. Just keep going through a couple. Keep your core nice and firm, pressed out and engaged, and keep breathing this whole time. You're not holding your breath, you're breathing. Hold your breath, you can hurt yourself.
I'm tired.
We worked out this afternoon.
You're doing fabulous, Alyssa.
Wait, no.
My
I
left
do mine
arm
backwards?
wants to move forward with my left like that.
Oh, that's harder.
Mm-hmm. Now do it. There you go. Whichever knee comes up, the same or the opposite arm goes up. Cross pattern. And this stays tight. This is how you get a shredded 6-pack. This plus, healthy diet. Nice shot, Tom. Breathe, Tom. You're blowing over here. Well, this is getting red. All right, good. Next. You guys got this. You guys are going to be shredded if you do this every day. Remember, strong core equals less back pain. Turn over your stomach. Planks. Not everyone's going to be doing planks. After you've done dead bug and bird dog long enough to get a strong core, then you can start moving into planks. If your lower back hurts when you're doing a plank, you're either not ready to do it or you're not doing the plank correctly. So this is going to show us how to do a good plank. We're going to lower the pelvis down so that there's a straight line from her ear through her shoulder all the way down through her pelvis to her heel. Notice she has a right angle here and a right angle there. You don't have to hold this one for too long. If you start to shake and tremble, you stop. 10 seconds of a good plank is better than a minute of a bad plank. People hurt their backs doing planks because they start to shake and tremble. Keep your core nice and strong. Her core is nice and strong right here. It's firm. If it feels like it's not firm, you're doing it wrong. Okay? I'd rather have you hold for 10 seconds properly than a minute improperly. Good job, Tom. You guys are doing great. You guys feeling the burn?
Yeah.
Any questions on the plank? Alyssa, on your left side, facing the camera. Everyone, if you have a bad shoulder, go to the good shoulder. Don't use the bad shoulder side. Side plank, really quickly. Strong core. Push out with the abs, don't suck in. Engage your core. There you go. Take this arm, put it on the shoulder. Hold the shoulder nice and strong.
Okay, got it.
All right. I asked her to model for us. She said she's going to the gym. I said, now you don't have to go to the gym. All right, keep the spine nice and straight. Good. Straighten your head out.
Okay.
Good. Right there, just so everyone can see. Nice and straight. You don't have to hold that for very long.
Alan's
Your shoulders bothering like that. Remember, a couple seconds of this is better than doing it wrong. You have to engage the core. If your back hurts, don't do it. And if you're starting to tremble and shake and your low back starts to give out, you have to stop. Always start with front planks before you ever go to side planks. Okay? Graduate. That's it for the lower back. We're going to get through this upper body one really quickly. All right? The first one, I think, Alyssa, why don't you show us in that door jam? We'll skip this one as the group. This one's very simple and easy. Why don't you stand right here and face that way? Okay, find a door jam. Okay. Yeah. Find a door jam or a corner of a wall. You can also do this in the shower in the corner. That's what Dr. Ashley does every day. If your shower has a corner, you lean into the corner. The corner would be right here. Okay. So Alyssa's keeping her spine nice and straight. What I don't want you to do is just pretend you're twisting. Anything where you're twisting or rotating your spine. Keep a straight spine. Okay. Arm along this door jam. Move it up a little bit. Good. Right angles. Remember our right angles? She's pushing forward with her chest. She's getting a stretch all across the pecs on the front. You can stop whenever you want. Feel that?
Yeah.
Keep your spine straight. All right, remember, sometimes people tweak stuff when they're trying to get help. The reason this is so important is because we spend most of our day like this at the computer, on the cell phone, myself included. I'm working over people. We need to bring this out and open it up. We're going to show you how to strengthen the upper back. But right now, we need to stretch the chest muscles.
Rotator cuff.
Yeah, careful. If the rotator cuff's talking to you. Okay? Next is the best upper back stretch I've ever taught people. Some people already know this. They do this on their own. You can go, maybe go back over there.
Do each other. Push up each other.
Here's where we're at. Upper back stretch. Face the front for me, Lisa. Spine nice and straight. One hand over the other. Show everyone that. Cross one hand over the other. Do both. Go back and forth because it'll activate different muscles. What we're doing here is she's confusing it.
I only got one way, Doc.
All right, spine nice and straight. Gotta keep our posture straight when we do this. She crosses her arms and she's gonna push her knuckles forward. Good, and she's gonna feel this stretch right here, and so are you guys. You're gonna love this. It's gonna feel a stretch in between your shoulder blades. Then she can bend her head forward and rotate to a side, and you'll find almost like a sweet spot, I call it. Alyssa, you can also move your hands up or down or push over to the side, one or the other. And you're looking for that spot that really kind of makes you just melt. You guys feeling this?
Mm-hmm.
So you can come up more, you come down. You can go more across and push harder with this arm. Tuck the chin. You'll feel intense stretch right there. You play around with it until you find that right spot. And go through it. And you can switch your hands and you can get a different one. Okay? So the most important thing is when you cross your hands, push your knuckles out. That's how you get that stretch. Cross and push. Got it? doing good. Almost done. Ranges of motion of the neck. Okay? We go over 3 different motions here, 3 different stretches. Number 1, you're going to pull or gently tilt the head to the side. So, if you're going to the right, you use the right arm and you gently bend the ear to the shoulder. Perfect. Breathe when you're doing this. Relax and feel that stretch. It's going to be stretching the opposite, the lateral side of the neck muscles. Okay, flip to the other side. Always do the other side. So we're doing this because you don't ever want to stretch one side of the musculature. If you stretch one hamstring and not the other, now you've created an imbalance. An imbalance is you might go out for a walk or a run, or you might just stretch one and then you go to bend down and pick something up. And there's an imbalance now, and something kind of goes wrong, or subluxation starts to set in. First one, right over the side. Second one, look kind of down. Now look.
Oh, look down.
There we go. This arm on the back of the head and lean a little bit more forward. Do you feel it hitting a different area? Good, everyone should feel that. Bend over, look down, head towards the back and pull more forward. Good. Now this one, you're even going to look more. So look down at your, if you're bending to the right, look down at your right toe. Down at your right toe, this arm. Now put that hand on the back of the head and pull down towards the toe. So we went through 3 different neck muscles. And now I'll go and do the other side because we don't ever want to stretch one side. Did everyone feel the difference? Mm-hmm. First one is straight to the side. Second one is looking down. Third, or at an angle. Third one is looking almost straight down. Cool. Teach your kids this.
Got it.
They'll keep you on track. I'm teaching you. I'm going to teach your.
I'm going to Facebook that live.
I'm going to teach your kids this.
You're trying to teach my kids this.
I'll teach your kids this. All right, cool. This is the most important, it's maybe an exercise or motion that you'll do for your neck. We call these neck glides. All right, Alyssa, perfect. What she's going to do, make sure your hair's out of the way here. What she's going to do is she's going to pretend that her chin is resting on a table. She's going to glide her chin forward. Hold, and then glide her chin back like you're trying to make a double chin. When you glide back, do not pull. This isn't an exercise, it's a motion. It's a gliding motion. What that's doing is this is the only motion, aside from the chiropractic adjustment, that puts additional motion or encourages proper motion of the top joint in the neck, where the skull sits on the vertebra. This is the only motion that can sometimes get the top vertebra to go back into place. It's important that you know this. If you ever get in an injury where you hit your head, I always tell people, do this right away. Very gently do what Alyssa's doing, and sometimes it'll allow that vertebra to glide back into the right place. It can save you before you have to come back in. Let me see you do it, because this is really important.
Don't watch me.
Watch me. Everybody, look at this. Look at this.
I was
I
watching.
got the
He's doing
double
it
chin part
perfect.
down.
Everyone does. Yeah. Okay. Glide it out. Awesome. I like it. You do this in the morning, or you do this when you're on the computer. Sometimes you'll hear crackles. Is those ligaments and those muscles are letting go, and that motion is coming back into the joint. Really, really important. Okay? Turn face the wall. Shoulder shrugs. So because we spend all day like this, our muscles in our upper back get stretched. Remember, we're opening up here with the door jam exercise, and now we're going to learn how to re-engage these upper back muscles. Okay? So we're going to do squares, square shrugs. So push your shoulders up, everyone. Not straining, but pull them up. Now push them forward. You should feel a stretch in between the shoulder blades. Drop them down. And now squeeze them together. When you squeeze together, you should be able to pinch a pencil right there in between your shoulder blades. Push up. Good. Hold each one for about 1 to 2 seconds. So you don't want to go through it really fast. You're actually following through like a square or a box. Perfect. in the upper back, how to support the spine. Now, here is the best exercise. This is our last one. This is called our TWY strengthening. Once again, if you have anyone and you come up behind them and you start massaging right here, like that way, you might want to just come up behind your wife, your spouse, and start massaging right here. Everyone feels like, what do they say? Oh, don't stop. It feels so good. Every single person. And the reason is because we're straining our neck and our shoulders are coming forward, and this area is developing knots and muscle strain. Muscles connect the vertebra, so when those muscles get tight, they yank and tug the vertebra out of place. So we're retraining the upper back to hold those vertebrae in the right position. So, back against the wall. Everyone trying to find a spot. Someone can go here on the door. Go back there. Go ahead and make a T. Okay, this is a lot harder than it looks. I want your knees bent slightly. I don't want your knees straight. Good. So, we're holding our arms against the wall and we're slightly pushing against the wall. You want a T. I know you're in kind of a tough spot. Just put it on over top of it. There you go. Smart. As you're holding across, you're going to be engaging those muscles in between your shoulder blades, and you're lightly going to be pushing. Does everyone feel that?
Mm-hmm.
Feel how weak that feels? Everyone? Yeah, it feels very weak. Now you're going to go down and do a W. Good. If you really want to get a burn, you're going to do that. You can work on your legs as well. You're going to go into a W. There we go. Squeezing the shoulder blades together. See how that feels?
Feels so good.
Feels so good. Now we're going to go up into a Y.
So
Push your shoulder blades together against the wall.
C.
Now do an M, and a C, and an A. So you go through this exercise, right? T, W, Y, and you do it all in a continual motion, squeezing your shoulder blades against the wall and holding in each position.
Why?
And you do it slower than that, but exactly like that. And what we're combating by doing this is this anterior head position, rounded shoulders, or that hump that develops in people who have no protection of their thoracic spine. T, W,
Y.
There you have it. TWY. So this took us 30 minutes. It took us almost exactly 30 minutes. You can do that every single day. If you do the snooze technique like I do, you could have almost half of these done before you even get out of bed. It's not that you need to spend 30 minutes doing them. It's if you do little incremental things throughout the day. You can do this every single day and learn how to support your spine. Got it? You can teach kids to do it and then they'll make you responsible. Thanks, guys.